This is a legislative news update for the Texas Legislature, the 85th session of the Texas Legislature. I am Matt Briscoe for the Hill Country Tribune. This morning we have some local information here for you regarding State Senator Don Buckingham. State Senator Buckingham has introduced Senate Bill 894, which is a fairly complex bill. It's a fairly difficult bill, but it's not overly controversial, but it's a very useful bill. Senate Bill 894 is going to address some deficiencies that exist within the Health and Human Services Commission, HHSC, and their audit coverage of Medicaid managed care organizations, something normally called MCOs. Now, the Health and Human Services Commission relies heavily on MCOs to deliver Medicaid services to recipients here in the state. Currently, the HHSC, Health and Human Services Commission, contracts with two audit firms to conduct periodic performance audits and these annual procedures they call AUPs, agreed upon operating procedures. That kind of govern the engagements of these MCOs. The purpose of these audits is to certify the accuracy of information that the agency uses to determine MCO compliance with these set forth contract requirements. Now, there's a twist to this. That's a while back the state auditor's office determined that HHSC consistently failed to effectively use information that was gathered in these audits to appropriately monitor these MCOs or address any of the major issues identified in the audit findings. So Senator Don Buckingham, State Senator Don Buckingham, to the 85th legislature, has introduced Senate Bill 894, which is going to require the HHSC to implement a strategy, if you will, for improving overall management of these audit resources used to verify the accuracy of program, financial information, so forth, reported by these MCOs that are used to administer Medicaid services to the state. Now, what SB 894 does is it provides for a really consistent, well-documented audit selection process, as well as identify the scope and objectives of each audit. So it really gives a purpose to each one of these audits. Not saying that they don't already have a purpose, but it more clearly defines what that purpose is going to be. So it's going to make everything a little more consistent over the period of time. It's also going to require the Health and Human Services Commission to establish policies to ensure that these MCOs have taken action to implement these performance audit recommendations, which right now evidently they are not doing. So it's going to require these MCOs to issue these so-called, as the bill says, these experience rebates to HHSC based on the MCO's profits earned through participation in the Medicare managed program. So it's also going to go much deeper. 894, Senate Bill 894, is going to increase the security over HHSC's IT services. The way it's going to do that is it's going to strengthen user controls within its accounts receivable system, requiring daily reconciliations of all agency accounts and ensuring proper documentation of programming changes. Now, we've read the bill as proposed. Right now, Senate Bill 894 amends the current law relating to the Health and Human Services Commission strategy for managing audit resources, including procedures for auditing and collecting payments from these MCOs. So it's not a highly controversial bill. It's not a highly contested bill, if you will, or I should say a highly anticipated bill, but it's a very important bill, I think, that Senator Buckingham has brought before the committee. So it should be in committee. I think right now it's 8:18 in the morning. I believe it's already in committee. We're going to monitor this as the day goes on. So just kind of in short, the bill would amend what's known as the government code to direct the Health and Human Services Commission to establish strategies and procedures for managing its audit resources, particularly for auditing and collecting payments from Medicare managed organizations, these MCOs. If it's passed and signed into law, this bill would take effect September 1st, 2017. So we're going to closely monitor this morning. Senator Buckingham of Senate District 24 out of Georgetown and some of the Highland Lakes area here has introduced this bill. It is in committee this morning. I believe we got a tweet from Senator Buckingham's office this morning saying that it was going into committee this morning, so that's good news for this bill. Senator Buckingham tweeted this morning, "My SB 894 to provide Medicaid oversight will be heard in the Senate Health and Human Services Committee this morning." So it's a very important step. There's no local implications to this overall. I don't think there's any significant impact to local governments, and that's according to a letter that she had sent to the Legislative Budget Board. I've analyzed it. Our staff has analyzed it. It doesn't appear to be that there's anything really major going to shake up anything, except within HHSC. The Health and Human Services Commission has they've caught a lot of flack in the 85th. They've caught some flack in the 85th. So just because they've overall consistently, I think, mismanaged things. And I think that here in this bill, this SB 894, which we're following, and we'll continue to bring you updates as it goes through committee this morning, live updates as it goes through committee. If we can get a comment or a quote from Senator Buckingham's office, we will, regarding the SB 894. So that's where we're at this morning as far as what our local leaders are doing, local elected leaders are doing, and we're going to keep you updated on that. But for now, I am Matt Briscoe. I am the managing editor of the Hill Country Tribune. We'll be back here shortly if there's any breaking information. So take care. Thank you for joining us on this legislative update. Take care, everybody. This has been a production of the Hill Country Tribune and the Hill Country Tribune managing editorial staff.